Oh, hello. Many Magic the Gathering players ask the question, what are the best reprints in Modern Horizons 3? Modern Horizons sets are well known for their innovative new designs, including reworked versions of powerful old cards, rebalanced for the modern format. Cards like Sylvan Library, Necropotence, and Tolarian get reintroduced as Ripples of Undeath, Necrodominance, and Primal Prayers. Sometimes these cards even become format staples like Force of Negation did, and not just in Modern, but in all formats where they're legal, from Commander to Legacy, while others like Diamond Lion are merely cheeky callbacks that see play nowhere. But Modern Horizon sets are also known for their awesome, actual, literal reprints of fan-favorite cards from both pre-modern and Commander-exclusive sets. Recently, these sets have also included sorely needed reprints of the highly sought-after fetch lands. But with 42 brand new to Modern reprints, as well as 5 fetch land reprints, which of these are the best ones that you can pull in a Modern Horizons pack? Well, best is subjective, but let's talk what isn't subjective. Cold hard cash, baby! As a wise elder once said, dollar bills, yo, dollar bills. In this video, I have compiled a list of the top 5 most expensive reprints for Modern Horizons 3, at the time of recording anyway. You see, to rank the cards, I am using the price of the cheapest previous printing of the card. A few of these reprints have mostly retained the value of their previous printings, while others' value have cratered compared to the price of their old version. It's actually very interesting to see which cards dropped dramatically when it was announced they were being reprinted, which ones actually held their value, and which ones I think may actually go up even higher now that they are legal in Modern, but I'll discuss that in just a moment. Isn't it wild knowing all of these cards and card prices and what the cards do and where you can and can't play them? So how come if you can master Magic to the point of knowing what happens when 2 or even 5 highly complex Magic cards interact with one another, how come you don't know how to program? Huh? Too hard? No way it's too hard. Can't be harder than Magic. But Magic is a game, and that makes it fun to play and learn while you do, and that's why today's sponsor has made a game out of web development and programming skills like Python and Go, and that's Boot.dev, sponsor of today's video. Boot.dev is an innovative learning platform designed to teach you back-end web development from start to finish. While Boot.dev teaches you valuable programming skills in Python and Go, it does so by looking and feeling like a role-playing game. You'll earn XP, level up, and complete quests by doing actual programming tasks. So you're gonna have fun and actually learn a marketable skill at the same time? Sign me up. You know, the founders of Boot.dev are passionate gamers themselves, and they're committed to helping their students prepare for today's programming job market in a fun and practical way. In fact, the interface is not only easy to understand, but the overall concept is interwoven with the feeling of, like a video game. As you progress through the lessons, you'll gain real experience points. It's so much fun and also rewarding, learning programming skills and seeing your progress grow. What better way to learn how to code than by playing a game? Well, Boot.dev is designed to keep you creating as much actual code as possible to set you up for success. And you know what? Every Boot.dev lesson is viewable in guest mode, so you can try before you buy and make sure that it's right for you. Hey, I like that price, don't you? So just follow the link and check it out in guest mode for free. What do you got to lose? And if you do end up being interested in picking up that valuable skill or even an exciting new career, you can click the link below and use my code Tolarian to get 25% off your first payment for Boot.dev. Depending on what subscription you choose, that can be 25% off your first month or even your first year. Check it out and begin your training today. Thank you, Boot.dev, for sponsoring today's video. While there are several reprints in Modern Horizons 3 that are worth a nice chunk of change, there are also several cards that are not among the most expensive reprints, but will still be high-impact cards in Modern that I am very excited to brew with. The medallions, for example, are very interesting build-around cards in Modern, such as a Ruby Storm deck built around Ruby Medallion, or a version of mono-black coffers that runs Jet Medallion. So just because a card didn't make the list as one of the most expensive expensive reprints doesn't mean that it might not end up with a cool new home in Modern thanks to its new legality through being printed in Modern Horizons 3. And there's actually one of those cards that I'd like to highlight because while not one of the most expensive reprints yet, it is still a significant card to enter Modern because of how it interacts with a mechanic that has plagued Modern for many years now. And that card is Lelia, the Blade Reforged, which interestingly was originally from the Lorehold Strixhaven Commander deck. That's right, Commander cards now legal in Modern, and Lelia is a powerful hasty threat with built-in card advantage and a scaling power and toughness stat line. It's her last trait that I want to focus on here. As her third ability reads, whenever one or more cards are put into exile from your library and or your graveyard, put a +1/+1 counter on Lelia. Why do I feel this is relevant for Modern? Well, when you cast a Cascade spell, technically according to the rules of Cascade, each card you exile to the Cascade spell is considered a separate instance of exile. That means if you cast a Cascade spell with Lelia on the battlefield, she will get a +1/+1 counter for each card you exiled from your deck. If you Cascade with no cards in your deck that meet your Cascade spell's requirements, then she gets X +1/+1 counters, where X is the number of cards in your library. Of course, now that Violent Outburst is no longer legal in Modern, this combo will usually have to occur at sorcery speed, making it far less threatening. But given that Wizards of the Coast has now introduced Discover, the Cascade/Discover mechanic is here to stay. And any future instant speed Cascader could be primed to immediately make Lelia one of the most threatening cards in Modern. But now let's talk about cold hard cash. Sure, there are cool new possibilities with so many new cards reprinted into Modern, but I want to discuss which pulls may make your wallet sing when you crack a pack of Modern Horizons 3, which, to be honest, I actually don't advise you do. Maybe like draft, but don't crack packs to get cards, buy singles. Maybe just one pack for fun. First up, we have Recruiter of the Guard. This is Recruiter of the Guard's first reprint if you don't count its reprint on the list. Prior to Modern Horizons 3, Recruiter of the Guard was going for just under $20 for its cheapest non-foil version. This is also Recruiter's first foil reprint. And prior to Modern Horizons 3, if you wanted a foil copy, you were going to need to shell out, $120. The Modern Horizons 3 foil, thankfully, is nearly $100 cheaper than that. Recruiter of the Guard is a 3-mana white 1/1 that tutors for a creature with toughness 2 or less. It's a staple of Commander and also in the Legacy Death and Taxes deck. The card is much stronger than it may appear at face value, thanks to the wide range of powerful creatures with toughness 2 or less, especially those in white, and the synergy between it and Flicker effects like Flicker Wisp and Ephemerate. The list of good creatures that Recruiter can fetch is virtually endless. In Modern, however, there's still not an immediate home for the card, but that doesn't mean that Recruiter is not on the Modern power level. Far from it. I would not be surprised, for instance, if the card formed the spine of some kind of green-white creature combo deck, perhaps in tandem with the new Allurin variant. As I said, Recruiter sees play in Legacy Death and Taxes. But although Death and Taxes does also exist in Modern, historically the Modern D&T deck is focused more on synergy built around Leone and Arbiter and Ghost Quarter. I suspect that a version of the deck that includes Recruiter of the Guard would need to be rebuilt, as Recruiter and Arbiter are something of a non-bow. A Death and Taxes deck that looks more like a Legacy version could certainly translate to Modern, as most of the pieces in Legacy Death and Taxes are now Modern legal. That said, you are still missing Rashadan Port and Wasteland, so maybe we'll have to wait for Modern Horizons 4 for this to fully materialize. Nonetheless, at the time of recording, the Modern Horizons 3 Recruiter of the Guard is still worth $13, making it both a nice value pull from your pack and a more accessible version of a card for someone who is just looking to buy singles. Next up, we have Cephalid Coliseum, a powerful mono-blue land. Before Modern Horizons 3, you would have had to spend almost $20 to pick up a copy, but now you can grab yourself a Cephaloid Coliseum for just about $4. What a high-impact reprint! Cephaloid Coliseum is a very strong card. As a baseline, it's an untapped, non-basic source of blue mana for the cost of 1 life. But if you have Threshold, you can pay a blue mana, tap Coliseum, and sacrifice it to have target player draw 3 cards and discard 3 cards. In Legacy and Commander, Cephalid Coliseum is a strong discard outlet for setting up graveyard synergies for a very low deck building cost. All-in graveyard strategies such as Dredge and Crabvine have been on the decline in Modern in recent months thanks to powerful and popular main deck graveyard hate like Dalthi Voidwalker and Agatha Soul Cauldron. But that doesn't mean such decks are totally non-existent. Goroyo's Vengeance and Living End, for example, are the 2 primary graveyard decks in the format, and it's easy to imagine both decks finding room for a copy or 2 of Cephalid Coliseum. What's more, Modern Horizons 3 seems clearly designed to give tools to decks from years past that haven't kept up with the power creep of the format, so I wouldn't be surprised to see Dredge or Crabvine pick back up with the help of this card. It's also important to note that Cephalid Coliseum says target player draws 3 and discards 3, which means you can target your opponent. Say, if you have an Orcish Bowmasters, Sheoldred, or Narset, Parter of the Veils in play. All in all, Cephalid Coliseum is certainly strong enough to see Modern play. The only question is where. If it does end up seeing play in Modern, the price might climb a bit, but I doubt the Modern Horizons 3 version will ever reach the heights of the original printing's price point. A key factor to Cephalid Coliseum's price is that the uncommon reprint slot is effectively the same rarity as a common in the non-reprint slot, as there are no common reprints and there's a reprint card in every pack of Modern Horizons 3. The next most expensive reprint in Modern Horizons 3 is Urza's Incubator, a powerful commander card entering Modern for the first time. The card is admittedly a strange choice to include on the reprint list for a Modern Horizons set, as the card is much better suited to Commander than it is to Constructed. But hey, at a previous point of $27, I'm not going to complain about a reprint. Well, maybe I will complain a little in a future video. No promises though. Urza's Incubator is a colorless 3-mana artifact that reduces the mana cost of a creature type of your choice by 2 generic mana. The card is fantastic for Kindred strategies in Commander, and it's very easy to net the mana you spent on this back after casting just a couple creatures. And from there, the mana boost is extremely powerful. Honestly, I don't expect Urza's Incubator to be a big player in Modern, though I suppose anything's possible. 3 mana is just a steep initial investment for a card that doesn't impact the board in Modern. If the card does see play in the format, it's likely going to be in some kind of combo deck rather than as a boost for fair Kindred strategies. As a comparison, Heartless Summoning is a combo card that Modern streamer, brewer, and friend of the channel, Aspiring Spike, often builds around. The Kindred restriction means it'll be harder to develop a combo around Incubator, but something like the Magda Changeling deck, for example, might be able to be reworked around Incubator. Speaking of Aspiring Spike, if you haven't seen our episode of Shuffle Up and Play that featured him, Brad Nelson, and Amy the Amazonian, you can check that video out here or linked in this video's description. The Modern Horizons 3 printing of Urza's Incubator is currently still $24, which is great news if you pull one in a pack. This is also the kind of card that will climb back up in price further down the road, thanks to its ubiquity in Commander. Next up, we have the only reprints that were already legal in Modern, but believe me, I am so glad that they are bending the rules to include them here. Alright, let's talk fetch lands. There's not a single Magic player that's going to be unhappy to crack a fetch in their pack. But out of all 5 of these fetch lands reprinted, thankfully, in Modern Horizons 3, the most expensive of the bunch is the one and only Polluted Delta, which commanded a whopping $27 for its previous non-foil printing. The other 4 fetches in Modern Horizons 3 are also high-value pulls, though their previous versions were technically cheaper than Urza's Incubator. Bloodstained Mire, Wooded Foothills, and Flooded Strand are all between Incubator and the original printing of Cephalid Coliseum, while poor old Windswept Heath clocks in just above Recruiter of the Guard. Selesnya decks never get any respect. Fetch lands are the most powerful cycle of land in all of Magic, staples in every format they're legal in, and will be expensive forever. I don't need to tell you any of that, of course, but it's true. If you've ever wondered why fetch lands are so good, we have an entire video going over just how powerful of a card they are and why, which of course you can check out here or linked in this video's description. Notably, the fetch lands are the only reprints in Modern Horizons 3 that were already modern legal, which means they don't come in the reprint slot of a pack. These instead will take the slot of the ordinary rare when you open them. The ally color fetch lands have been the most expensive 5 fetches on average since the enemy fetches were reprinted in Modern Horizons 2. But prior to Modern Horizons 2, it was the enemy fetches that were the most expensive. These will keep switching with each other depending on which has most recently been reprinted. You can look at the price trends for the enemy fetches post Modern Horizons 2 to get an idea for how the ally fetch prices will develop. The Modern Horizons 3 printing of the non-Windswept Heath ally fetch lands are currently going for around $19 each, but that price may continue to decline in the coming weeks. Windswept Heath is just $14 for its Modern Horizons 3 printing. Wow! If you've been waiting to buy an ally color fetch land for your commander deck, or just buy into Modern, the next few weeks will be the best window to do so as far as picking up singles of fetch lands are concerned. So what is the most expensive reprint for Modern Horizons 3? Well, this is an all-star that is legit going to make waves in Modern, which may just make its price climb even higher than it already was. I guess that's why they decided to reprint it at Mythic. Oh, wait, no, that sucks. Oh. At last, we have it, the creme de la creme of Modern Horizons 3 reprints. Phyrexian Tower, a powerful soul land for black decks that have fodder to sacrifice to it. Phyrexian Tower has been reprinted a few times over the last 5 or so years, but that hasn't dropped the price below $37. The Modern Horizons 3 version is currently selling for $30 for non-foil and $40 for foil, making Phyrexian Tower an extremely high-value pull in your booster pack. Phyrexian Tower is a legendary land that taps for a colorless mana, or, if you sacrifice a creature, 2 black mana. The card is nothing short of an all-star for Aristocrats decks in Commander. But now, at long last, the card is modern legal, and you can absolutely expect it to see play in a wide range of decks. From current Tier 1 decks like Golgari Yawgmoth and Rakdos Scam, to brand new archetypes centered around this card. To get a sense of just how impactful Phyrexian Tower will be in Modern, consider the card's impact when it entered Historic on Arena. The card was excellent in Rakdos Sacrifice decks in that format, and Modern has a much larger card pool to provide potential homes for the land than Historic ever did. That said, in many decks that play Phyrexian Tower, the card will still be a one of, so that won't increase the demand quite as much as a card that players would need a playset of for their Modern decks. But the hefty price tag on Phyrexian Tower likely isn't going anywhere. I expect Phyrexian Tower to dip just a little bit in price as Modern Horizons 3 gets opened more, but then I feel confident it will climb back up again after a few months. The card is just too powerful and in too high demand for it to stay down for long, and so that makes Phyrexian Tower both an exciting card to pull from a pack finance-wise, but also just an exciting new addition to the Modern format. Great stuff. But keep in mind, all the reprints of Modern Horizons 3, except the fetch lands, are going to be new to Modern, so there's really no telling what new decks might be opened up or what new possibilities await when Modern Horizons 3 becomes legal, so I guess we'll just have to wait and see. If you are curious about what are the best new cards for Modern, or what are the best new cards for Commander from Modern Horizons 3, you can check out our companion videos on those subjects here and here, and I hope very much any one of these videos has been of some help to you. You can help me out by remembering to hit subscribe, because I'm almost at 1 million subscribers. Can you help take Tolarian Community College to being the first Magic the Gathering YouTube channel to hit 1 million? I don't know, but yeah, click the subscribe button, share with a friend, watch another video after this one. And thanks again to Boot.dev for sponsoring today's video. Boot.dev is an innovative learning platform designed to teach you back-end web development from start to finish. Learn Python, learn Go, all while enjoying an interface that looks and feels like a role-playing game. You'll learn experience, level up, and complete quests by doing actual programming tasks. All the while, you're learning experience and leveling up in the real world too, with a marketable skill no less. So if you're interested in picking up a valuable skill or even an exciting new career, click the link below and use my code Tolarian to get 25% off your first payment for Boot.dev. Depending on what subscription you choose, that can be 25% off your first month or even your first year. Check it out and begin your training today. Thank you, Boot.dev, for sponsoring today's video.
on the season finale of Shuffle Up and Play.
We have brought our very first Commander decks.
My name is Kenji Egashira, better known as Numat the Nummy.
I'm Sam from Ristic Studies.
I'm Spice 8-Rack, and if I'm here, who's flying the plane? Who are you?
I already said it.
Oh,
Note to future editor, leave that part in. That's hilarious.
Draw that insurrection. Reveal a land tax.
my God.
I don't think I was a very fun player to play against back in the day.
You literally announce yourself as going to destroy all our lands
Okay,
before
all right,
playing.
that's fair, that's fair.
Is there anything that I am scared of?
Are you scared of the future?
Oh, don't start this again. Bane of Progress.
No.
You got a crisp 20 to make me not pick that one?
No comments.
This is the first episode of Shuffle Up and Play where I'm not immediately targeted.
Well, thanks for reminding us.
Oh yeah, props here.
Get him!
Non-god gamers.